Welcome to Vacuum Wars, and to another special tech-focused episode where we're going to look at security on robot vacuums and what you can do to protect yourself. Security breaches make big headlines, like the recent DJI Romo hack and the Roomba leak a few years ago, when intimate images from the robot's camera wound up on social media. Before the end of this video, we'll show you exactly how these breaches happened and give you real actionable steps to make your own robot safer. First, a little context. The Internet of Things, or IoT, is a network of physical objects embedded with sensors that exchange data over a network. This is what allows your robot to send you app notifications or start a cleaning task remotely. Any smart device in your home is, for all intents and purposes, a Wi-Fi connected computer, and computers can be compromised. There are a few ways this can happen, and not all vulnerabilities work the same way. Let's talk about the DJI incident and how it happened. A software and AI professional named Sami Asdufal wanted to hack his own DJI robot vacuum in order to drive it with a PS5 controller. To pull it off, he used an AI tool to dig into the robot's software, and what he found was alarming. The app was supposed to give each user their own private key to access their device. But when he used his key on DJI's servers, it unlocked not just his robot, but thousands of others. In total, around 10,000 DJI devices were exposed. He was able to see their maps, look through their cameras, and control the devices. He quickly sounded the alarm, and this particular DJI vulnerability has reportedly been patched. The IBM X-Force cybersecurity team has issued statements warning that AI tools like Claude Code are being used to identify these sorts of weaknesses now. And since no code is completely bulletproof, it's possible we'll see more breaches in the future, although hopefully not at this scale. The flaw was in the identity architecture of the robot's backend, when the server failed to use the topic-level ACLs, or access control lists. In plain English, while the access code proved Mr. Asdufal was a real DJI customer, the server didn't restrict his access to his own device. By failing to bind the user to the machine, a single user's key became a master key for an entire fleet of devices, a stunning security breach that fortunately came at the hands of a well-meaning player who just wanted to hack his own robot for fun. This was not the case with the Ecovacs event, which happened in 2024. Users in different parts of the US reported that their robot vacuums started spontaneously moving around the house, shouting slurs, and even chasing a dog. One user quickly changed the password on his device, but that didn't stop it. The hackers had taken complete control of the machine. The hackers found a way to skip the PIN entry entirely without ever actually even knowing it. Here's why that worked. The robot itself never checked the PIN. It just asked the app, "Has the PIN been entered?" And the hackers were able to trick the app into saying yes. Once they did that, they had full control of the robot. Not just the camera and microphone, everything. And because they were in at such a deep level, simply changing your password wouldn't have helped. Again, this had nothing to do with anything the user did wrong. It was a flaw baked into the software itself. Patches to the firmware are crucial for removing these vulnerabilities, and Ecovacs issued one in November of 2024 for this issue. While the DJI and Ecovacs stories are about broken software, the iRobot incident from a few years ago is a different kind of story. One about privacy and consent. It's also important to understand upfront that this wasn't a hack at all. To teach a robot with AI how to identify objects, a human eventually has to look at the images and label them. In 2020, development versions of the Roomba J7 series were capturing images and sending them to a third-party data company. The breach happened when gig workers took screenshots of sensitive images, including a woman sitting on a toilet, and shared them in private Facebook and Discord groups. But these were not standard consumer units. These were special development robots given to paid testers and employees who had signed agreements and even placed stickers on the robots that said, "Video recording in progress." They technically consented to the data collection, but they certainly didn't consent to their private moments being broadcast by the workers hired to label the data. iRobot responded by immediately terminating its relationship with the service provider and tightening its data governance. Since then, iRobot has moved towards edge AI processing. This means Roomba identifies images locally on the robot's own chip, instead of being sent to a cloud server or anywhere a human might see them. iRobot received recognition from Consumer Report and the Mozilla Foundation for high levels of security on their robots since this incident. It's unknown if their new ownership will change this. This leads to less headline-grabbing, more insidious risks, but it's fortunately the easiest kind of breach to protect yourself from. According to a report from Netgear and Bitdefender, the average smart home is hit with 29 cyber attacks every single day. These aren't targeted attacks on you personally. They're automated, running in the background, constantly scanning the internet for devices that still have default passwords or haven't been updated in a while. Smart TVs are actually the biggest target. This is a smart home issue, not a robot vacuum issue. The goal is usually to quietly rope your device into a larger network of compromised gadgets, used to commit cybercrimes, hide behind your internet address, or even steal your electricity to mine cryptocurrency, all without you ever knowing. And 93% of these attacks are fully automated. There's no shadowy figure targeting you specifically, just software that endlessly tries every connected device on the internet, looking for an easy way in. Fortunately, there are best practices that the IBM X-Force team recommends for users of any smart home device, including robot vacuums, and anyone can do them today. First, and most importantly, never use default administrator names or passwords. Bots are scanning internet-connected devices 24/7 for passwords like 1234. And if your password has been compromised somewhere on the internet and you use the same password for multiple accounts, this also makes you vulnerable. IBM says when it comes to passwords, length is strength, meaning the longer and more complex your password, the more secure it is. They also advise safely storing passwords and not reusing them. The second tip is to set up a guest network on your router and put all of your smart home devices on it. This keeps your robot vacuum and anything like it separate from your phone and computer. That way, even if a smart device is compromised, it can't be used as a stepping stone to get to your more sensitive devices. One heads up, most robot vacuums only connect to 2.4 gigahertz networks, so make sure your guest network is set to that, or you'll run into connection issues. The third thing you can do is never let your firmware go out of date. Any known vulnerabilities are patched, and the correction gets sent to your robot through firmware updates. This is how Ecovacs fixed its pin bypass issue, and it's an important way to keep your robot's software healthy and your security strong. The fourth tip is to keep your surface area of vulnerability smaller by not activating anything in the robot you don't use. Setting up permissions for remote viewing when it's not something you use exposes the robot unnecessarily. Robot vacuums and other smart home devices are lightening the workload of managing a home in pretty significant ways. We love them and we use them ourselves, but it's important to remember that there are trade-offs when you invite an internet-connected camera with wheels into your home. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you want to keep up with news, you can check out our robot vacuum news section on our website, which is linked below. Don't forget to subscribe to Vacuum Wars before you go. Thanks for watching!
Vacuum Wars independently tests new vacuums year-round, and the links in the description are updated regularly to reflect our latest top picks across multiple categories. You'll also find detailed rankings on the Vacuum Wars website, including our top 20 robot vacuums, top cordless vacuums, and more. Every review here is unsponsored, just honest results. Subscribe so you never miss one, and tap the next video to keep watching.